Good Wednesday morning, TSC family. Hey, James, Janie. Just look at this satellite view of the West Coast. You can see the area low pressure right there. That's what's going to be traversing toward the southern parts of the country here, bringing severe weather. That's it right there. That is a piece of energy, including this right here. Combination of those two right there. You can see that Pineapple Express coming out of Hawaii right there. Y'all, be leery of this. If it stays this far south, eventually, if we get cold air, say into Texas, combined with all this moisture, if it stays in this general direction, what do you think is going to happen eventually? Well, we're going to have some southern snow and precip. So it's just something I've been watching. Okay, wait, it's really tracking south right now, and is it going to stay there that far south? Because if it does, and we eventually get a strong cold front come down at the same time, that mixture of cold air with this moisture is not going to be a good thing. So I'm just pointing out, if the Southern Jet stays down here like this and stays this far south, there may be a problem. Bear in mind, this used to be up here. Now it's down here. So we need to watch the track of this real closely. All right, let's get going. So the Storm Prediction Center for, let's see, this will be for today, has a categorical 1 threat. Do they have a tornado threat? They do not have a wind and hail threat for today. They're in Texas and Oklahoma. Tomorrow, does things get worse? Well, it kind of does. We have a very large area of categorical 1 threat with a large area, even larger area of thunderstorm activity. Do we have a tornado threat for tomorrow? Yeah, there is one now. And you can see it extends out back to Texas, across northern parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and in parts of western Tennessee and Kentucky. So there is a tornado threat there for tomorrow. Wind threat, yeah, it's still there. Hail threat, yep, it's still there too. But the tornado threat is what we're all worried about. And wind, I'd say alike. Then we go to day 3. Are you ready for it? Day 3 has been upgraded to a categorical 2, which I thought was going to happen. Y'all, we've been watching that RFS model, right? Was wondering, well, is it right? Is that RFS model correct? Looks like from the Storm Prediction Center, it is correct. It is a correct model to follow. Reading the summary down here, it says strong to potentially severe thunderstorms are possible on Friday from the lower Mississippi Valley into parts of the mid-south and southeast. It does now not get in there and tell you that on the summary portion here that there could be a tornado threat, does it? But if you read down here, okay, shared environment will support the potential for supercells and organized clusters with an attendant threat of damaging winds and a few tornadoes. It doesn't say up there in the summary, which kind of surprising it didn't. To not even include a few tornadoes in the summary is kind of unusual for them not to say so, but they chose, for whatever reason, they chose not to leave out the part of tornadic activity. I'm going to tell you there's going to be tornado activity in the area. Yes. Here is the HRR model for 48 hours out. It's as far out as it goes. Now, it's interesting to watch this, and I'm going to zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about. If you look at the HRR model, this takes us through 7 a.m. on Friday. So what happens after 7 a.m. on Friday? Here's the RFS model, and I'm going to back this up to 7 a.m. on Friday. There's 7 a.m. on Friday on it. Boy, I tell you what, the HR model and the RFS model look very similar in location and in the parameters. It looks very similar. A little bit more updrafts over here. Okay, just a little bit more what the HR model is giving us. You see, there's a few right there in Arkansas right there as well. But similarity wise, they look very, very similar in nature, aren't they? Well, they did some adjustments to the RFS model, and in doing so, I think they made it better because it was exaggerating a lot. So now I say it's not exaggerating. So what does it look like after 7 a.m. on Friday? Now watch. Really, things don't pick up until about 1 o'clock. And then at about 1 p.m. on Friday, boy, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, you guys are getting pounded. Now that is not a pretty sight. That's telling us that there's either going to be large hail or tornado activity. That's what that's giving us, guys. Now, which one is it going to be? Which one do you think it might be? I'll say this: it's probably a combination of both. All right. Now, the HR model is not out there yet. Tonight, it will get somewhat out there. Tomorrow morning, it will be completely out there to be able to see what Friday's going to be. But man, if this model is correct, I'm telling y'all, eastern Texas, southern parts of Arkansas, nearly all of Louisiana, and most of Mississippi and Alabama, you guys are going to have a rough problem. When does that all come in? What's the timing of this? I know everybody's asked. I know you're wondering about that. Here's what the timing of this is. I'll back it up here. Okay, I'm gonna start at that point right there. So this is what it looks like at 10 a.m. on Friday. After 10 a.m., now we're starting to get those updrafts coming into play. I'm going to say really about 1 p.m. in the afternoon on Friday. About 1 p.m. I would suggest that the schools maybe let out early is what I would suggest. Maybe have a noontime school let out there in Texas, in the eastern side of Texas there, and including Louisiana and Arkansas. I think I would have an early dismissal of school, because if you do not and you wait at 4 o'clock, look what happens. We're getting some strong updrafts, guys. We don't want kids out on the road, do we? At 4 p.m. with tornado activity. Here's what it looks like at 6 p.m. Man, right at the rush hour where everybody's trying to get home for the weekend, and at 6 p.m. on Friday, that's getting bad. And it gets worse. Man, in the late hours of Friday evening, around 10 p.m., y'all, those updrafts coming out of Texas and in Arkansas, they are powerful. And I do mean powerful updrafts. Now, is that going to be updrafts with tornado activity? That's what a tornado is. That's what this updraft helicity gives us. It gives us the potential for tornado activity. That's what it gives us. Or can it be updrafts that are causing hail? That could be hailstone too. So which one would that be? Well, if you look at the Storm Prediction Center now, and you ask yourself, what is this? Well, man, they're not really talking too much about hail down here, guys. Okay, they're talking more tornado. You hear them talk about a lot more about tornado. It does say after it talks about damaging winds and a few tornadoes, some hail will also be possible. It does say some hail. So you got to look at the modeling here and say, okay, some of that's going to be hail, and some it's going to be tornado activity. Where is the hail going to be at, and where's the tornado going to be? Well, I don't know. That's too much to know. That's just too much. But we're going to have a problem. And I don't think there's any doubt about it. There's definitely going to be a problem in here Thursday, and especially Friday evening, Friday afternoon. It's going to be it could be a serious problem. Now, I'm not here to hype this up and scare anybody at all, but I would suggest that you look outside and see what might become a missile if with high wind. Wind is going to be a factor here. There's no doubt about that. If you watch the wind forecast here, man, look at that wind up in Ohio Valley region. Here's the wind there coming out of Texas. Look at that. Look at the tropical storm force winds. Now, this model does not give me a wind gust swath. Okay, so I'm going to switch over here to the HR model to look at that possibility of wind. And keep in mind, it does not give me all the way out. Even with that, we got 90 mile an hour wind gusts back here. You got 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts there in Texas. 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts there in Arkansas and Missouri. Illinois, you're getting up there in a 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gust. Indiana, you're getting 50 mile per hour wind gust. Ohio, you're getting 50 mile per hour wind gust. And this is as far out as it goes. What happens after 48 hours? Here's the NAM model. Now, I was looking at this NAM model, and I thought, okay, the NAM model has generally been a very fiscally, I must say, a very conservative model when it comes to showing updrafts. But whatever it shows, I like to show it because it seems like it can be fairly decently right most of the time. If you look what it shows at 1 p.m. on Friday, there's the updrafts right there. Now, it usually doesn't show as many updrafts as the HRR model does. But whatever it does show, okay, I perk up and look at it real closely. So right now, I'd have to say between now and 1 p.m., there's a danger factor there on the NAM model. Now, we don't know what happens after 1 p.m. on Friday down here. Doesn't go far enough out, unfortunately. Tomorrow night, it'll be there. We'll be able to see that stuff tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in to tomorrow night's broadcast. I think tomorrow night's broadcast is going to be such an important broadcast to know what's going to happen on Thursday and Friday. It's crazy. So, man, if you tell your friends to please tune in to tomorrow night's broadcast. It will be a very, very important broadcast. If you look at the European model now and look at this thunderstorm activity, I'm gonna back this up some. So here we are going in there into Thursday morning. Look at those thunderstorms moving out of Texas into Oklahoma right there. Y'all, that's powerful stuff. Then it kind of moves in there into the Ohio and Wabash Valley area, into western Kentucky and Tennessee. Now, does it look like it's what I call really greatly organized stuff? Because it does kind of fade apart. But nonetheless, guys, can that be supercell activity right there on Thursday evening? It could be. It very well might be. So be prepared there in southern Indiana, southern Illinois, parts of Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. On Thursday, there is going to be problems. I'm going to stop it right there and put up wind gusts now. What did I do that for? Look at your wind here. Again, you're getting up there into the 50 mile per hour gust wind. 52 mile per hour wind gust there on the European model between now and Friday at 1 a.m. And look at that wind go head on up in the northeast, and it filters a little bit to the south. So we're gonna have damaging wind with this. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The damaging wind is fixed in. It's coming. There's going to be damaging wind. Some people are going to lose power for a few days. If you're not prepared to lose your power for a few days, you're going to be underprepared. I'm telling you right now, you're going to lose your power for a couple days. Some people will. Now, this is not like a hurricane that comes ashore out of the Gulf or Atlantic Basin and drops in 100 mile an hour, 120 mile an hour winds and really snaps off power poles. This is going to be some isolated stuff, meaning just tree branches comes down across power poles and bring some of the power lines down. It's not like it's going to be you're going to lose your power for days and days and days. I don't see that happening with a 50 mile per hour wind gust. That normally doesn't happen. Could you lose your power for 2 days? Yeah, you might. Again, if you're not prepared to lose that power for 2 days, you're going to be underprepared. Plain and simple. Well, do you want to lose your power for, like it's showing here, and then have temperatures getting ready to come down? Look at this. Look you say you have your own power right now. Then you got that cold front coming down, and you drop, say in Indiana, you drop into 40s right there. That could be bad. Now, it's not bad enough it's going to freeze your pipes or anything like that. It doesn't appear at this time. But it's still going to be colder air. It's still going to be colder air. This is what it looks like at 3 a.m. on Saturday. There's 7 a.m., the maximum cooling. And then it warms go back up. Or is it? Not really, y'all. It stays cold. Look at Saturday at 10 p.m. Now we fall below zero. They're are below freezing there in Indiana. What if? Let's play devil's advocate. What if you still don't have electricity there in Indiana? And it's now at Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Now it's 21 degrees there in Indianapolis area. That wouldn't be good. That would not be a good thing. That would not be a good thing. So you can see, guys, lost electricity is going to be possible. Yes. And then we got cold air coming in behind it. Now, it's not tremendously cold air. Don't let other pages deceive you. There is nothing on the European model at this time, at least last night, that showed us tremendously cold air. Let's look at this and see if it shows it. Do we get below zero temperatures here at any point in time on the European model? Does not out 144 hours out. Let's go ahead on out. Let's look at the rest of the time. So look at the cold air hovering up there in Great Lakes region, Minnesota, Wisconsin area. Now, is that driving southward? Well, it's trying to. Indiana gets in a single digit. That's on January 18th right there. That's 18th at 7 a.m. Yes, I would say the models are fairly locked in. Somewhere around the 17th to 18th timeline that we're going to have that next major blast of cold air. It's not going to be tremendously bad in the south down here. As you can see, we're in the 50s and 60s down there yet. There's what it looks like at the end of the run. That's 360 hours out. Can't really believe too much of that. But you can look at 7 p.m. in the evening. What's your temperatures look like? Heck, we're in the 45 range. We're in Texas, they're in the 60s. So we don't get a lot of the really bad cold air down here in the south. It's not coming. It's going to stay up here, which is where it should stay, up in the Great Lakes region. That's up there is where it should stay. This is where it should be. It's supposed to be cold up there, right? We understand that. So don't see a lot. If you look at snow potential over the next few days, let me pull out here and go to the United States. And here's your snow for you snow lovers. Now, one thing of note, look at this map. And I'm going to make sure you understand that. There is a potential of a little bit of snow all the way to the Gulf Coast here. All the way to the Gulf Coast. Now, you remember that Pineapple Express I've been talking about? Well, you can see it moving through Mexico over here, moving into Texas, and there's your Pineapple Express creating that dusting of snow right there. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. That's the European model. Does the GFS model give us something similar to it? Does not give us that snow in the south. Does not. Now, how about the ensembles? Does it give it to us? Here's the European ensembles. European ensembles get south all the way into Texas and across the south there. Almost snow in all the states along the Gulf Coast here. But it's just a small little dusting. Here's the GFS ensembles. Looks very similar to the European ensembles, doesn't it? So y'all, if you just look at the ensembles and you follow them, there's Canadian ensembles. That's giving us snow in the south. So you got snow all the way across the south here. Then here's a long range. For those of you that want long range. I'm going to use the control here on the long range. That takes us out to February 9th. That's so long range, it's crazy. Now, do we get snow in the south there? It doesn't show it, does it? It does not show it. This is the GFS controlled long range modeling. Again, it takes us all out to February 9th. Don't see much snow here in the south, do we? Here's the European long range. Gives us some snow fairly far and deep in the south here. You can see it there, but it does not reach it all the way to the Gulf Coast there. Does not reach it there. So y'all, I don't know, man. Even though it's showing up on the controlled side of the European and the GFS, it doesn't show much on the ensembles. A little bit. I don't know. We might get that Pineapple Express keeps moving there into southern parts of California into Mexico. If that stays there and we get cold air in place, could we get that big snow that some people are wishing for? I don't know. Again, y'all, I doubt it will happen. What we seen last year was such an anomaly. It's crazy. I don't think right now at this point I see much on the models that's suggesting a major snowstorm in the south. I gotta say that it's not showing up right now, so I doubt that will happen. I just doubt that to happen. James reminds me I forgot the verse of the day. Looks like it comes from 1 Corinthians 10:31. It says, "Whether then you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God." Do everything to the glory of God. Everything you do every day, make sure it's in the eyes and the glory of God. 100%, 100%, 100%, James. So y'all, I don't see just a lot out there right there to really worry about, honestly. Again, the Weather Prediction Center has a excessive rainfall amount here for the time frame of 7 a.m. Saturday through 7 a.m. on Saturday. 7 a.m. Friday through 7 a.m. on Saturday. So there is a chance of flash flood risk there in basic Tennessee Valley region. That would include Tennessee, Central Tennessee, back there in Alabama and Mississippi. So do be careful in this area here on Friday and Saturday. It's going to be a lot of rain falling, and that rain is not going away. It's just going to sit there for a few hours and keep raining. Well, that's why they have a flash flood risk up there. That would make total sense. Okay, so that ends that. Y'all, again, the Pineapple Express is well alive. You can see it right there. It's going to cause a problem this weekend here across Texas, moving there toward the east. And it's primarily in the southeast where the very bad major threat is going to happen. Right now, I would say just look outside and think about. I think the Storm Prediction Center has this pegged perfectly. I do believe. Categorical 2, that seems about right. That seems about right based on what we've seen. Categorical 2 now, if you look at it really closely, gives us basically all three parameters, meaning high wind, tornado threat, and what else? Hail. So all three of those parameters are in place when you get a categorical 2 threat level. So take this very serious if you live anywhere in that green, and especially if you live in that yellow area. Take this very, very seriously, y'all, because this could be a destructive storm. What are you going to do with your car? Are you going to leave it sitting outside? I hope not. I hope you have it under cover. I hope you get it under cover so that large hail does not smash your windows out or put dings in your car. Think about that. What are you going to do with your vehicles? Make sure your animals, your outside animals, are taken care of. Make sure they have a nice hiding place to go to with large hail. And again, there's going to be wind damage in this area, guys. Do not forget about this wind. This wind could be the worst part of this. Straight line winds could be some of the worst things you could get out of this. It could be straight line winds, and it's going to be near hurricane force straight line winds in places. We've seen over 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. There could very easily be hurricane force winds in this. If you look at the 850 millibar winds, guys, it's screaming. The 850 millibar is absolutely screaming. I need to go to the European here. Back to the European model for a second. And put up upper level ends. 850 millibar. Just look at these 850 millibar winds here. You got over 60 mile per hour wind gust. There's 70 right there. There's hurricane force wind gusts. Now, 850 millibars is where? It's about 5,000 feet up in the sky. Now, can a downdraft, listen to me, can a downdraft bring it to the surface? It can. It very well can. There's 73 mile an hour right there going into Indiana and Illinois right there. 73.4. Can those winds make it to the surface? They absolutely can from a downdraft. If you get a strong enough downdraft, those winds could come right down from 5,000 feet straight to the ground. And then look what you got in your hand. You got hurricane force wind gusts all over you. So take this very serious, guys. I can't stress it enough of how bad this could be with straight line winds. It could be the worst thing that we're going to see out of this is straight line winds. Tornado effects is there. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Let's look at the parameters here. Here's the HR model for tornadoes. I already looked at this. So I want to show it to you though. Okay, let me go back to the central region here. Now watch these tornado parameters coming out of Texas. You see them right there. Where they move at? They're moving to Arkansas. Look at them growing back there along the Gulf part of Texas. Look at that. That's at 2 a.m. on Friday, guys. Now what do you always hear me say? The tornado parameters have to be in place first before you get the updrafts. Well, here it is, right at the end of the run right here at 7 a.m. on Friday, we have these tornado parameters in place. Then where do you think the updrafts is going to happen at? Well, they're eventually going to happen in that area down here where the tornado parameters are at. There's where the tornado parameters is going to come in place. If you go to the RFS model, okay, now watch this. I'm going to put tornado parameters here, up here. Now watch where they're at. Hey, this thing's updating right now. Let's go back to the Z run. Now look at those tornado parameters in the south. So tornado parameters are in place. There they are. Now watch updrafts. Here they come. Right there. Boom. There's the updrafts happening. So those tornado parameters are there, guys. And I always look at that. If I didn't have those tornado parameters in place, I would say this is all hail. But the tornado parameters are all there. So this is not going to be all hail. This is going to be some forms of tornado activity and hail as a combination, more than likely. So that's it. That's all I can give you right now. Anybody got any questions out there? I'll give it a few seconds here to see. James says he'll be going live if it gets bad. That's perfect. I'll be live on Thursday. I'm off on Thursday. All right, I don't see any questions out there for a particular area. So I'm going to get out of here. Everyone have a great day. God bless you all, and I'll see you guys tonight. Probably around 9 p.m. tonight is what time we'll be again. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock Central. So I'll see you guys tonight. Have a good night, everyone. Actually, it'd be better to have it at 10 p.m. Let's do that. Let's say that. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. And the reason why is the HRR model and the RFS model will be updating at that point in time. And the longer I wait, the more information I'll be able to give you. The RFS model probably won't be completed updated here even at 10 o'clock. So let's do it at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 10 p.m. And we'll be back at that point in time there. All right, y'all. Have a great day. God bless you all. And I'll see you guys at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.